In part 1 of this video, we explored the bottom end of this run. Now let's have a look at the top end of the run.
Okay, so we've worked up along the edge here, and the next structure that I'd like to look at is the first head seam. You have this really deep bucket of water right in front of us, as is evidenced by the deep blue-green, and the next seam is just right up about a rod length and a half above me. And that's another one. It's going to be the same mend. Cast up to the top. It's real simple. Cast up to the top, and now it's right in that seam, and you're just going to make little mends. Oh, that's another fish. Dang, okay, I got to slow this down. But that's the whole point. You cast up, and if you don't mend, what'll happen is this current right here going that way is going to suck everything that way, and then you'll end up, that'll be a big arc downstream, and you'll end up having to set way like that. You want to avoid that because you're out of control. The whole object of fly fishing is to stay within your control and work within that. So let's have another look at that. I'm just going to put that right up on the top seam. I'm right in a beautiful spot there. No mending net, but now I can just mend the leader. That was a fish again. Okay, I'm missing a couple little fish, and I'll just put it back up there. That wasn't great, so I'm just going to place it one more time. I'm right in that seam. I'm right there. Just keep mending out. And just let that drop. Oh, that was a rise right in front of me. Mayfly hatch is starting. So anyway, and you get to there, I probably should get that off the water because there's lots of fish active. But that's what you want to do at the head. It's not really the head of the run. It's the head of the bucket. It's the head of the pool. It's that first shelf. We're going to get to that top head shelf after we talk about the submerged rock shelves across the river from us. Okay, so let's have a look at those submerged rock shelves across from us. The peak of the flow comes right around this corner and hits this wall. The water over millennia hits that and scours and scours and scours, and eventually that's what causes this big deep pool. But it leaves a layered rock shelf across from us, and not the biggest cutthroats, but your mid-sized cutthroat and your rainbow trout will nose in there because, well, those are the fish that really like or can live in those locations. So again, it's all the same stuff. This time you're just going to cast a little bit further out, and right away you're going to downstream mend, low arm, and let that just drift downstream. Keep that rod low and just allow that to drift. So the question now is, well, how do I fish all that over there? Well, in a perfect world, when you cross the tail out to start, you'd walk up and you'd just get up to there, walking along that wall, and you just do a short line cast along that far cliffside seam and let everything drift on a short line cast. That way you're in control, everything's nice and low. You can just pitch it in there and set the hook on anything that eats on the wall side of the creek. To do it from here, well, that's the lazy way, and that's where your reach man can come into place. But again, it's a downstream mend, everything's low, and you just fish it from there. Personally, walk across the tail out. This is a small creek. Walk across the tail out, come in, fish that bucket over there like we talked about, and then just walk slightly up along the wall because it's shallow, step against the rock, and just do a few short line casts in there. Okay? Now let's have a look at the very top of the run seam. Not the top of the bucket seam. Let's go and look at the top of the run seam. Okay, so here we are. That's the top of the bucket seam. That's that gravel shelf. There is the top of the run gravel shelving ripple, which is all gravel in the rapid, comes around and rocks, and then you start getting broken rock, and there's a really nice honey of a kind of a blue-green spot right there where I'm pointing, and that is just ahead of all the rock shelves. That right there, again, as you might expect, is going to be a prime spot, and all we have to do is up and hit the shallower water, mend, 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 and now, I mean, look at how long that drift is. Oh, there he is. See how long that drift was? That was a hugely long drift, but there he is. Oh, I forgot to include whitefish on my list of fish that might live there. So right there, let's review. You have to break down the run. You go, you know what? There's prime spot in the tail out, prime spot in the bucket in the tail out, prime spot in the bucket all along the edges. And by the way, the one thing I didn't mention, this bucket right here with the current coming this way, as the mayfly hatch that's happening right now intensifies, these fish will come in here and face, their heads will face that way. This is a prime rising location right here. Okay, so we now know that we sequentially work out, cast out to the seam, keep everything low, mend downstream with your leader. And as you go up to the top, you just keep picking off the edges, anything that looks like it should hold water that creates a deflection, a seam, a drop off, that any current break is going to be gold in water like this. So hopefully that helps you. Look at how simply mending is. Moving into position is huge before anything else. Always move to the right spot. Keep your casts short. That'll force you to move into the right position. If you find yourself in a run like this, casting 40 feet, you're doing something of a disservice to yourself. You're not going to be in control. You're going to get bad hook sets. You're going to get drag. You're going to get slashing takes instead of easy takes, and it'll cause all sorts of problems. So move into position and keep it at about 20 feet of fly line leader out from your rod tip and work this properly, and you're going to clean house.